Marrying someone for security. Hi, my name is Paul Friedman. I founded the Marriage Foundation, and I think I can help you with this. First of all, if you're even asking that question, you're a woman. Men do not go there. Men create security for the environment we call marriage. And many women who have been raised in Western society are getting torn by this idea of, I should be an independent woman. I shouldn't be dependent on my husband for a livelihood. We should be equal partners. We should this, that, and the other thing. And there's all of this conversation going on about this topic. But let's be realistic. Let's understand a very deep reality, a factual reality. That is that you are essentially a soul. You're a soul. That's why they use the term soulmate. This is not a religious dogma. That's what you are. You're a soul. And at the same time, because you have a body and you have a mind, those are material. So you are a blend, you might say, of spirit, soul, and nature, the material body and the mind. And we call that the ego. And that's how you're identified. So as a woman, you're a soul who has been born into a female body. I hope this is not too deep. You have a female body. You didn't know yourself as a woman until people said, oh, look, she's so cute. She? Oh, look at her. Oh, look. And then you lean towards doing things that are feminine. Now, this is very important stuff because in the psychological community, they try to pretend that these are all learned behaviors, and that's nonsense. As a woman, your body is a female body. It's gender specific. It, compared to a man's body, can carry a baby. Man's body can't. And there's a lot of things that go along with this. It's not just because you have a uterus, but there are a bunch of things that are tied to being a woman. The deep subconscious reality is that as a woman, because you're going to be carrying a newborn, and because you're going to be the one who's primarily responsible for the sustenance of this child, all the way up until you're dead, you have been afforded a certain ability to tap into your heart that men don't have in general. And this is what makes you a woman. It's one of the things that define you as a woman. You're still the soul. But one of these compulsions is for you to be dependent on a man while you're raising this child. It goes way back. You could look at it as primitive mankind, when the man was the hunter-gatherer and the woman had to be there all the time for this child or the child would die. Those distinguishing traits have not left. They're still there. So when you ask the question about getting married for security, the answer is, of course. Every woman does. Subconsciously primarily. But that's the role of a woman based on her gender. Now, that is important, but there's something much more important to consider. And that is that you need to make sure that the man you marry reaches the level of man with his attributes that are equivalent to those that you need for him to be there till the very end. So to marry a man just for security might be setting you up. And the security will fade away because you need to be able to love this man in order for him to feel drawn to you so that he doesn't stray. Because one of the requirements that go along with being the woman in a marital relationship is that she expresses unconditional love to her husband in many forms. As a companion, sexually, which is really intimacy, as a support. And where is the motivation if you don't love him? If you don't have a high level of respect for him as a man? So, is it okay? Yes. Is it okay if it's the only reason? No. You need to evaluate. I suggest that you take a look at the Premarital Academy. See what's offered there so you have a deeper understanding of this. But don't be ashamed of how you feel about that. It's actually right on. Okay, blessings to you. Our prayers to you. God bless.